Good day, learners. How are you today? Alright. So today we'll be talking about the theorem of Pythagoras. Have anyone heard of the theorem of Pythagoras before? No one? Alright, cool. So what we're going to talk about today is the theorem of Pythagoras, as I've said. So this will help every one of us today to leave their school knowing of the theorem of Pythagoras. But then before we move forward, we'll start by recapping on the shapes, different types of shapes that we talked about yesterday, so that everyone will get a clear understanding when it comes to the theorem of Pythagoras, right? Alright, so we talked about different shapes. Who remembers any shape? Any of the shapes that we talked about? Yes. Oh, the circle. Yes. The circle. We talked about the circle. This is the circle to those who don't remember. And then what else? Yes. What else? The triangle. Yes, the triangle. We talked about the triangle. Here is the triangle. And then what else we talked about? The rectangle. Yes, the rectangle. Here is the rectangle. It's like a square, but then the sides are not equal. Remember that, the difference? Yes. And then the other one that we talked about was a square, which is a square. You see, all the sides are equal on the square. All right, so moving forward. So today we'll be talking about theorem of Pythagoras, as I've said. So the theorem of Pythagoras basically is focusing on the right angled triangles, right? So it only focuses on the right angled triangles. So who knows a right angled triangle? Oh, so all of you knows a right angled triangle. Awesome. So these are the different types of triangles that we talked about yesterday. But before I show them to you, who remembers how many they were? Yes? Only 2? No ways. But it's fine. We'll get back to your answer. How many? 6. Alright, so these are the different types of triangles that we talked about. It was the equilateral triangle, the scalene, the isosceles, the right-angled triangle, the obtuse, as well as the acute triangle. Also, we stated that for the different types of triangles, they differ in size and also in angles. Right? That's what makes them different from each other. So for the theorem of Pythagoras, we're only focusing on the right-angled triangle. If it's not a right-angled triangle, do we use it for the theorem of Pythagoras? No, we're not using it because it only focuses on the right-angled triangles only. So what happens to the theorem of Pythagoras? Getting back to the today lesson. So on the theorem of Pythagoras, states that this side, the longest side, the square of the longest side is equal to the sum of this side as well as this side, right? So if you want to get this side, you have to use the formula of theorem of Pythagoras, right? Alright, so for the theorem of Pythagoras, we're saying this side is AC, right? The triangle is ABC, as you can see. But then for the, let me put it closer to you so that you will see. So this side AC squared is equal to the sum of this and this. This is AP and this is AC. What is the sum? Who remembers what is the sum? Is it a minus, a multiplication, a division? What is the sum? Yes, it's an addition. So we're adding the sum of this, the square of sum of this, and the square of sum of this. And another thing that you have to remember, for the right angle triangle, you have to keep in mind that if there is this angle, this is a 90 degrees angle, right? So this is a right angle. So this side, the longest side, is called a hypotenuse side, right? This hypotenuse side is equal to the sum of this and this squared, right? But to get this side, not the square of this side, you have to put a square root. So it will be AC. You see here, the formula is AC squared is equal to AB squared plus BC squared. But now for AC only, we have to put the square root, right? You remember we did that last week, right? Yes. So AC will be equal to the square root of AB squared plus BC squared. So we'll do further examples as the day goes on. So for now, you have to remember that the longest side in a right angle triangle is called a hypotenuse side. And to get this side, you have to add the square of this side plus the square of this side, right? And you make sure that you don't leave your answer in a square form. You don't calculate the AC squared. You want an AC, not an AC squared. So you have to remember to put the square roots, right? All right, so who has any question today for this lesson, for what we've just learned now? All right, no questions. So we'll get back to this later on, and then we'll focus more into details into what theorem of Pythagoras brings for us. All right, thank you. Enjoy your lunch.